morning, and you're welcome to the dailies right here in the Kuliamzat studio. Of course, this is Agidibu 88.7 FM Ibadan. And yet, we are here for another day to discuss our great nation, Nigeria, because that is all we do on the radio. We talk. One other thing, play music. But today, as of course, every other day, in the morning, starting from 6:30 a.m., you know what time it is. We get to talk about our great nation, what is happening around us, what is happening in each state across Nigeria, because this does not only affect the people making the decisions, our leaders, our politicians, it also affects us, Nigerians, citizens, whether living in Nigeria or not. My name is Wuraola Yusuff, and I'll be starting with the front pages of our daily newspapers this morning as usual. Starting from the Daily Trust newspaper, on the issue of the upcoming protest at page 4, organizers meet IGP insist on street protest. To write us to that one, the first one says the federal government declares custodial centers a red zone. Tinubu needs support to actualize policies, and that one is coming from the Vice President, Kashim Shettima. Tinubu needs support to actualize policies. Right, still on the issue of the protest, on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, we have the story saying that organizers list convergence point for rallies. Quite a lot of writers to that one, as we have Labour Party Lagos Patriot pull out of protest. That one is on page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper. We had a meeting where we had Mr. Falano SAN at Degborua NBA leading the meeting with the IGP yesterday. And we also had the IGP ordering DIGs, AIGs, CPs to provide protection for protesters. Court to restrict protests in Lagos to freedom, peace, parks. We have a thinking, not a bad government. That one is coming from presidency. Federal government declares the prisons red zones, warns against attempted violations. Banks, others ask workers to be vigilant as ASSBIFI expresses concerns. Hashtag enters oral must not reoccur. Anglican primate begs security agencies. Respond promptly to Nigerians' demands. Catholic bishops tell President Tinubu. ACF rejects a planned protest. It says a 10-day shutdown counterproductive. Why Tinubu can't stop a peaceful protest? That one is coming from Secundus. Right, on another story this morning, we have this one on page 35 saying the federal government suspends duty on rice, flour, other essential food items. On page 8, this one is saying, learn from Kenya's bitter experience, Bishop warns. Another one on the front page of the Guardian newspaper is from an ex-SGF telling President Tinubu to address Nigerians, reshuffle cabinet to stave off protests. And this one is coming on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Ohanaeze faction knocks Obi over endorsement of protest. Tension as joint security forces parade Ibadan. That one is on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper today. The stories, quite a lot of them, but seems like one. What we will be discussing this morning with, of course, Maestro in the studio. Good morning, Maestro. You're welcome.
Good morning.
All right. The week is coming to an end, I guess. When it's Wednesday, I'm always happy. Okay, it's midweek. We are moving. You're welcome to the studio again.
My pleasure.
All right. First off, let us talk about the fact that we have the suspension of import duties on essential food items going into effect. That was yesterday. And they said this is part of federal government's effort to address the high cost of food. The Comptroller General Adewale Adeniyi said the measure aims to make essential food items more affordable to Nigerians. And these essential food items are rice, flour, and so many other things. So what do you have to say to this, Maestro?
Okay, let's. I will address that very shortly.
All right.
But I suppose we should put things in perspective. We're going to be talking about our country for a very long time. But I suppose, and when we finish, people coming after us will continue talking about Nigeria. But you see, we need to reset things. We need to, what we should have done from the beginning, a proper introduction and how these things flow. There are people out there who don't know how radio runs, and they feel offended when their voices, faded out, or when they do certain things and they get yanked off the air. They get offended. And we need to tell people that there is an agency and there is a code.
Yes.
So it's not all the time that your voice, fades off abruptly, that it is owing to our own in-house rules. It might be that you have breached the code. And since the agency is not coming to call you, let me tell you out there, if you're listening, the least that you pay, the least fine today is 250,000 naira.
The least.
That's the least. NBC also reserves the right to fine you up to millions, 5 million and beyond. And that's a lot of money. So we need to be careful when people come with all these things. The other part of it is that we have rules. And one of the key rules we have is when you call in, address the issue. One of the issues, and you're free. Everybody is free to disagree. That is very ready, steady. It's something that you could do very easily in your statement. Disagreement with the position of the analyst. That's what we get. And I've been getting that forever because I've been doing this God knows how long. So disagree by your statements, not by insinuations. Now I'm saying this for the benefit of those who are doing it not without malice. Because let's be clear, there are some people dedicated out there, to that mission. The other thing that we are very reluctant to do is to bring the standard of the program to social media standard. It's a radio program, so we're sorry, we cannot bring it to, we can't derive our inspiration from the social media and then bring the program standard down. Apart from that, every other thing will flow freely. You will realize in time that I have been accused of backing almost every government. From Jonathan administration, right here in the city of Ibadan, I was called the Jonathan follower. I took money, of course. And then after Jonathan, I switched to Atiku. A lot of people who are listening to us, they know this is a fact. I switched to Atiku and collected money from Atiku.
And according to people.
Yes. After that, all the way down to this moment, I'm collecting money. And if I have been collecting money like that, would I be here? I mean, maybe I would be somewhere in the Bahamas enjoying life or something like that. So, but we understand these things that is said in the, inflamed passion sometimes. But we need to cool down. And that's for all of us, including me.
Wow.
we need to cool down and realize that you feel as strongly about your views as I feel strongly about mine. It doesn't call for unnecessary accusations. But if you come and say, everybody is dying, we will stop you.
On that.
We will stop you. And then if you say things that we did not say, we will also stop you. So let's start on that note again.
All right.
And bearing in mind that there is no amount of disagreement that will make me change my positions. I would not be affected by those things. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Maestro. We sincerely appreciate that.
So now this palliative
import
flooding,
duties.
see, they are going to help, but they are not going to be enough. Because there are factors that would, that will water down the moves. And we talked about it yesterday. One of the factors is who we are. Apart from the fact that the problem has grown beyond that, who we are, what we do, is another matter entirely. Because government is not going to be at the borders collecting these things and selling by government agencies.
Or at the markets.
At the markets, the people would buy these things up and they will store them in warehouses, hoard them, and because they are already comfortable with the hike. So that's a major problem that we have, which will water down the effect of moves like this. But I don't say, oh, don't do it. By all means, do it. We know it's going to have some kind of effect.
Crash prices.
It might not crash it, but
Really?
it might bring it down a little bit because the people who are at the other end will not allow the prices to crash. That is why I told you about, a rather big, block of shops in this Ibadan, and everything very big. Everything had been taken up, but only half is open. Half is open. The other half shut down. Key with lock and key, lock and key, lock and key. What's going on there is the warehouses for people who are selling rice, beans, and so on.
Where they keep it.
Where they keep those things. And as soon as, the market feels the pinch, they will now go to their warehouses and start bringing these things out. I told you about the man who sent a tweet out to his colleagues that, look, don't sell your maize. Don't sell your maize because it's going to go up in 2 weeks' time. So everybody should. And these are big-time farmers. So I think we concentrate way too much on government and other sources of our problems, and we hardly look at ourselves.
But we are part of the problem.
Major part of the problem is this culture that we have that I don't care. I'm just going to, stock this thing up and I'll sell it at exorbitant, prices.
For my own benefit.
Yeah, because when you ask, they will say, well, look at government now. And they also taking their own. And that's where, there's a major problem there. So that's why I think it might be watered down a little bit. It might not have the kind of effect that we expect it to have. Just might not.
So where we are today is not as a result of just government policies. We are doing a lot to our citizens. We also have hands in these.
There has never been a time in this country that government policies worked. Look, I can tell you that for free. It's been so long ago that you had government policies working. And even before the 1999, whatever it is, because you know what they do when you are in government, you deliberately create policy. And then you benefit from the policy. You situate yourself. There are two major problems there. If you're following me, you are creating that policy already to favor you.
Okay.
And then having inside information, with the power of inside information, you and your colleagues in the business world will position yourselves to benefit most from that which you created. And I can give you a number of instances if you will.
Please do.
So, okay, the time in this country that we heard about Land Use Act, one of the people, very powerful people in government around the time that they came about the Land Use Act and everything, is one of the biggest landowners in Nigeria today. When the military were about second-tier foreign exchange market, that's where our woes concerning foreign exchange started. When they were building the SFEM is supposed to be second-tier foreign exchange market, they were the ones who situated themselves mostly to benefit. So every time in government that you see a policy coming, they are going to situate there. It's just as simple as somebody doing, awarding contracts. So you think the person who is awarding contracts in this country is going to go without? No. So the problem is there.
Something must favor everyone.
There for a long, long time, and there's no amount of regime change which will change that problem. It won't move. There's no amount of protests in this direction that is going to move anything. We will do this protest, we will return, and we'll carry on with life as if nothing happened.
Do you think it is the government? Government has a role to play, or they actually have a hand in the way people react to things and policies? For example, with the way they said
standard.
That is the standard.
That's normal. Why won't people who are creating policies and mis-executing policies and tuning things in their own favor, why would they not have a hand in the reaction that comes after that? Of course. But you see, my problem is, where are we injecting? So you have this, let's assume that protest is, the right kind of serum that we want to inject into this sick person. If you go and inject him where you should go by the vein, you go and puncture things. So let's assume that all this energy that we have amassed, we should direct it at protest. I am going to be asking myself a lot of questions. Where should we direct it? And that's the key problem I have with this one. Because people are going to vent, which is okay. But what then do we get at the end of it? Look, let me assure you that politicians, they are happy right now. All these things, drama that they are playing and everything, because they are a step or two ahead, they are quite happy. Why? Because they know that this does not address the fundamentals of this country. If you pack this protest and say it is about restructuring and nothing else, let's just go on to restructure, they are going to be worried. They will be very worried because then they will not be able to say, look, we have done this, we have done that. See what we did in Lagos. See what we did in
They will know that's a serious one they've not touched.
It's because you have elevated,
this thinking.
It's gone up because they know. All of them, almost all of them will talk about restructuring before they come into office.
And when they get there?
As soon as they get into office, they promptly dump restructuring. They don't talk about it anymore. Why? Because the day this country is restructured is the day we begin to solve all the problems that we're talking about. But not everybody is stupid, I assure you. People who are also doing this, some of them know that if we go for restructuring, that would really count for Nigeria. But they don't want that. They want something else. And so they are going to do this. My prayer, though, at the end of it all is that, you go out, you protest, nobody gets injured, no policeman is killed, no place gets burnt, no looting, nothing.
All right.
So we finish it, and then we come and face further realities.
Okay, talking about the protest, there was a meeting yesterday with the IGP, Inspector General of Police, alongside SAN, Mr. Femi Falano, and some of the organizers of this protest. What did they talk about? I think they had some agreement and quite a lot of disagreement. We'll talk about that when we come back from this break. We'll be back.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
My baby is 6 months old. Oh my! 6 months old? Wow! Now your baby needs more than breast milk. It's time to introduce mashed meals. In addition to breast milk, begin to give your baby mashed meals that contain at least one item from each of these 5 food groups: eggs, fish or meat, fruits and vegetables, oils, beans, groundnuts, soya or millet, rice, potato, maize or yam. From 6 months. In addition to breast milk, your baby needs this combination of food types to grow healthy. This message is from the Anwin Project or your State Ministry of Health.
Fellow Nigerians, mommies, daddies, and children, please listen. It's no longer news that there's cholera outbreak, but don't worry. Cholera is highly preventable with good hygiene practice in the home. Ensure you disinfect your floors, walls, and surfaces with Hypo bleach. And always remember to care for your toilets with Hypo toilet cleaner. This way, you protect your family and stop the spread of cholera.
wá gbà ọmọ mi ọ̀wọ́n.
Mami, ẹ fi mílìkì sí ni.
Kò di dandan ìwọ tó wò ná.
Báwo lẹ ṣe ṣe?
Ǹjẹ́ mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye?
Ní gidi gan.
Ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ àwàrà náà ṣàtò?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Mílò 3-in-1 milky and creamy nìyẹn o. Mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye mi ò nílò láti ṣàfikún mílìkì sí i.
Mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ màámi.
Fún àwọn ọmọ rẹ ní Mílò 3-in-1 milky àti creamy tuntun, mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye ó kún fún káṣíọ̀mù láti ràn àwọn ọmọ rẹ lọ́wọ́ láti yege lójoojúmọ́. Mílò, agbára láti tẹ̀síwájú.
Milo!
Wow! Your baby is here! Congratulations! Do not waste time. Put your baby to breast within the first 1 hour of delivery to give that first yellowish milk colostrum. Colostrum has all the important nutrients your baby needs to start a healthy life. Colostrum also helps to protect your baby against diseases. Remember, put your baby to breast within the first 1 hour of delivery. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your State Ministry of Health.
My son, help me check this phone. I don't know wetin Junior press. E no dey work again.
Make I see. Mommy,
Wetin happen?
they don't block your line now.
Nobody like to chop blocking o. So if they don't block you unto say you not link your NIN to your Airtel line, run kitikiti go any Airtel shop with your NIN to unblock your line today.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix stand up. Easy to open, easy to squeeze, easy to scoop and easy to stir. Dishes come alive with so much taste. Sonia tomato mix, of course. Sonia tomato mix, yes sir. Sonia tomato mix stand up pouch.
Sonia tomato mix in the new standard pouch.
So much in love.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
All right. In case you're just joining us, do not forget that you can also watch us live on Facebook, and it is important that you join our Facebook page right now, as I'll be playing about 2 videos concerning the issue of the protest. Yes, there was a meeting yesterday with the Inspector General of Police. We had the Police PRO Olumuyiwa Adejobi, and also we had Mr. Femi Falana SAN, Mr. Digborua SAN too, and also some of the leaders, some of the organizers of this protest. But before then, before we talk about the meeting and the outcome of the meeting, we've seen some pro-government protesters coming out to say we are going against whatever protest wants to happen on August 1st. We've seen that, and it looked quite formal and organized. But yesterday things have happened. There is a video going viral on social media about some people going to market to warn people that they shouldn't come out, more like a threat.
I even saw where people were being paid.
Being paid?
Yes, I saw it. Some people were being paid that they shouldn't protest.
They shouldn't come out.
I saw one video like that. I saw the market video somewhere in Lagos.
Yes, so the market video will be playing right now. So let's listen to what has been said. It is mostly Yoruba, but the person that was recording that, I think, spoke a bit of English. Let's listen to that.
What's up, guys? We are still updating you. What now?
You say if you get mad, let me come out and say what you are pressing now.
Yes, some of the things that was said, Sheyi Nicole Bimpa, you the only ones are hungry, and also saying that that is all right. That happened, and also there was another situation yesterday, but this one was coming from a monarch in Lagos. So what did the person say? Let's listen to that too, and also watch. right, we're having a bit of a hitch with the audio of that video, but this video showing right here on our Facebook page, this was from a monarch telling people that this particular man is saying the king said, you parents, you should hold your kids on August because there is a news flying around that people are coming to, in quote, disrupt things on Thursday. So, dear parents, ensure that your wards, your kids, whoever it is that is somewhat that you're responsible for, they are indoors and they do not come out, because if any of them comes out, they're going to take them away. Yeah, that is what the man said. If we get the audio to that, I'll definitely play it again, but that is what has been said in that audio. Maestro, these two videos, what do you have to say to this?
I don't like what do you have to say, what's your reaction, and so on. But okay, I don't think it's great. I don't think it's good for us to threaten when we are having this kind of engagement in the polity.
A second.
It's 7 a.m. on Agidigbo 88.7 FM.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm not comfortable with it. I don't really like it, for people to issue threats. Like I said, for the umpteenth time, people have the right to protest, and people have the right not to protest. But you see, there's a problem with people who want to protest. They believe that everybody feels like them. That, look, the way I'm feeling about this protest, you must also feel like that. And if you don't feel like that, then they come at you. You see that all over the social media. I even have that, here and there. So I think there is a threat, a balance of threat between people who want to protest and people who don't want to protest. So we're looking at people who don't want to protest going overboard. Because, and let me tell you that some of these people who are doing these things are doing it to a particular gallery where they probably will get paid for being heard, harassing people. These things happen like that. And we need to understand it. But it's not look, let me tell you something. Threat should not be anywhere. Whether in Lagos, where people want to protest about the plight they're going through, or in the southeastern part of Nigeria that people must not come out every Monday. There mustn't be protests. There mustn't be threats anywhere where people simply want to go out and eke out a living in an already awful, economic situation. Then somebody threatens them with death if they venture out of their homes in the southeastern part of Nigeria, and people are dying in that place. Now, on the other hand, people want to go and protest in Lagos that the situation is bad. Then they get threatened again that
I think we have the audio to that video. Now let's just listen to that and probably bring it to the conversation also.
Ọlọ́run ọmọọba àti ọmọ àlejò ọlọ́fẹ́fùwà jàgídíjàgan níjọ́ Thursday lọ́dọ̀ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ kápẹ́tà ẹgbẹ́ àwọn òfẹ́ kẹ́nìbọ̀dì pé ọmọ ẹ̀ àti ọmọbìnrin àti ọmọkùnrin kẹ́nìbọ̀dì pé ọmọ ẹ̀ ó tọwọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀ bá sọ ọmọ tí ò bá ti gbọ́ tọwọ́ òun bá ti tó ọ̀hún gbé lọ ni o.
All right.
So, like I said, it would have been more interesting if we knew precisely, where that came from, which town, and so on and so forth. We would have been able to identify who the Oba or the Bale is, because these things are important. They add value to the kind of news that we are telling, it adds value to our news telling. But we will find out, where that is coming from. But let me tell you, these are perspectives. Like I said here again on this program, there are people who don't want these things to happen in their neighborhood. And they are making it very clear that they don't want it. So if, for instance, why I'm particular about where it is this. If it's a very small place, you have some very, very small kingdoms.
But this place looks developed.
Well, if only you gave us the name, it would have been better. But we have these small kingdoms where people know one another. But you have a sprinkling of people who are not indigenous. In that kind of place, I would not advise the non-indigenous to go and say they are staging a protest. This is my view. I wouldn't advise it. But in big places where you have the kind of number that you feel comfortable with and you want to protest, you can find a place so that the people who don't want the protest will amass somewhere, and you who want the protest will amass somewhere else, exercising your rights. Nobody has an exclusive right. It does not exist. No matter how inflamed we feel, no matter how convicted, of our intentions we are, the law is the law. So it gives you and it gives me. Anything short of that, we're simply wasting our time, because that's the position of the law. I wouldn't want anybody to be asked not to protest, because it doesn't even make any sense.
Whether you're protesting for or against.
If you want to protest, protest. If you don't want to protest, it's just like somebody saying, I want to eat rice. Then somebody is saying, you must not eat rice. You have to eat yam. How does that make any sense? It doesn't. So let people protest. And if you don't want to protest, protest against protest. But don't clash.
That was one of the issues raised yesterday. Okay, someone is telling us the video is from the Iba in Lagos. Is it Iba or Iba?
Okay.
Yes.
Iba.
Iba, yes, in Lagos.
Okay, that's towards Badagry, I guess.
Yes. Okay, so one of the issues raised at the meeting
Iba
yesterday.
is quite big.
It's quite big.
Yes.
For that kind of announcement.
Iba is quite big. But it is still, that kind of place where the monarch is very, very strong. And so anywhere you see in Yoruba land that you see Alagogoba this day and age, you know that the monarch,
they are serious.
Yes, the culture is still very powerful.
But saying they are going to take anybody that comes out on Thursday away, how about that?
Well, I don't know. The law would probably say when you commit a crime, if you pay anybody, that's a crime. Even if you are an Oba, it's a crime. But people have to be careful all the same. You have to read your reality. If I live in that kind of place and I feel like protesting, I'll think twice. But if you are in Ikeja, for instance, and you want to protest, I don't know if anybody will worry you if you go and gather in a place and let your grievances known. I think it will be, it will be workable in a lot of places where you have a lot of space.
All right. But in Lagos yesterday, a High Court ruled that if the organizers of the planned protest insist on going ahead with it in Lagos, they must restrict themselves to 2 locations: the Gani Fawehinmi Freedom Park, Ojota, and the Peace Park, Ketu. Restriction.
Now, that's a court order. And if it's not set aside, people should follow court orders.
People should follow court orders.
Because the moment you say we are not going to follow court orders, you have also given government the go-ahead to do whatever it wants. Because if you are not going to operate under the law, then what you are saying is everybody is free not to operate under the law. And in any case, government still has a way of telling that lie successfully, that they are enforcing the law while they are doing terrible things. So people simply have to be careful. If we tabak pelaye, that's what our phobias say. So if you see any serious, and this is what I even tell. Look, I tell journalists that I've trained over the years that when you are covering, a riot situation, a dangerous situation where your life might be in danger, there's a way you go about it so that you bring the report back.
Safety first.
And not your cops.
And not be the reports
so
yourself.
And not become the news yourself. So it's a general principle in life that when things are like this, if everything goes nice and cool, yes, you can go and be part of whatever it is that you want to be part of. But if you sense danger to your life, I don't think people should be foolhardy about it.
All right. The Inspector General of Police yesterday said it is not advisable for them to go on a street procession, so they should be confined so that they can be responsible for their security. But the people at the meeting yesterday, talking about the organizers, and also we had some people present, the SAN, Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, Mr. Adegborua, saying, these people are saying, given the history of protests in Nigeria, they do not think that they should be confined to a space just because they want to protest. How are they going to go about that? And also, they talked about the numbers too. The IGP said they should give them a particular number of people coming out. So let us know the people coming out and a means of identification. And they said that is not possible.
It's not possible.
How am I going to know this person will come out?
You see, there is a problem. What they are requesting it to make things difficult for the protesters. Because how would a Mr. Femi Falana be able to give you the number of people who will
coming
turn out? So I don't believe that they even need that kind of information. And then the particulars of people who are going to come and protest, it's absurd, to say the least. But what I do know, however, is that, excuse me, Mr. Falana wasn't part of this from the beginning.
But now he is.
Now he is there. And that's a trusted name when it comes to activism, protests and so on in Nigeria. That's a trusted name that people will now say, oh, okay. Unlike what we have been seeing before.
Faceless.
Because me, I don't know what, but now this is different. Apart from Shore, who's been there too.
Yes, he's been there.
So I think it's better with this kind of faces, Adugboruwa to SAN.
Yes.
These are veteran activists that people might, trust at the head of the crowd. But those requests, I don't know. I don't think, they are asking for those things because they want to provide security. So, police could provide security if you know the process. If, for instance, people are going to the National Stadium.
All right.
If that's the destination, if that's where they want to do it, or Onikon or somewhere, wherever the space is big enough to accommodate a lot of people, all you need to do is to now provide security, to cover such a place. But there's a problem. If people are going to walk right through streets and be doing their thing, the problem is there already. It's like,
that's what the IGP said.
It's waiting because some people say that we don't want this thing in our place. If they come and they react, we have a clash.
That also brought about the argument of
as soon as you have a tiny spark, the police now has,
the liberty,
the opportunity, the liberty to come in whichever way. The military will come in, everybody will come in. At the end of the day, those guys have only one thing in mind: to quell the riot, to quell the clashes,
in whatever way,
the conflict. That's their business. So that is why we should not go down that road. So if we are going to protest, first let people know that it has to be, as secure as possible, so that we don't lose anybody.
By secure, do you mean confined?
Well, it might be if you want to tell the world our grievances, right? If you want to make statements and demands of government, with the content being created along and everything.
Is that still a protest without street procession?
I don't see anything. Protest could take a lot of forms. Unless you feel like it must be street procession, then why not? You go ahead. It's your protest, not mine.
But the IGP is saying no.
Well, he might be saying no. Protest by its nature does not conform. So if the IG is saying no, they might still go ahead and do what they feel they should do. That's the meaning of protest.
At the end of the meeting,
because
they didn't conclude.
The moment that somebody is protesting is not under your rule. Is not willing to listen to what you're saying. That's the meaning of protest now. Because he believes that you're on the other side, he doesn't want to conform. So, but everybody must conform to what the law says. But what the law says is not what the IGP is saying.
How is it different?
It's different because the law didn't say you have to bring your ID card before you can protest. It didn't say you have to be confined to a place before you can protest. The law did not say those things.
Except for them to guarantee their safety.
In the course of the police doing its own job, to be able to say, all right, you are going to be taken care of, that is where the problem is. So the police want to secure, but these guys appear not to be interested in that security. They want to, do their way. Okay, the police is saying, one of the conditions of being able to secure your protests very well is if you do 1, 2, 3. And when you look at those requests,
they seem far-fetched.
Tall order. Where will they begin to gather the identities of people who are going to come and protest? Supposing 100,000 people come out to protest. Let's even put it at that you have 100,000 people at one point. And by the way, this is Lagos. This scenario with the IGP is not duplicating anywhere else. So this is just Lagos.
All right then. We still have two angles to talk about coming from the meeting, talking about the military, and also they mentioned focusing on the protesters and not the people the IGP said they had intelligence on that they are coming to disrupt the protests. We'll touch on that when we come back from this break, and then we'll pick up something else to talk about. We'll be back.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
Láti dènà àrùn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru àti àrùn mìíràn, pàápàá nínú àwọn ọmọdé, fọ ọwọ́ rẹ pẹ̀lú ọṣẹ àtomi tó ń dà ṣooro. Ní pàtàkì jùlọ, tó o bá lo ilé ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ tán lẹ́yìn tó bá ti ṣàǹdí fọ́mọ tán kó o tó ṣoúnjẹ ọmọ rẹ tàbí kó o tó fún un lóúnjẹ. Àti pé o, tí ọmọ rẹ bá ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru, fún un ní oògùn oníwóró zinc lẹ́ẹ̀kan lójúmọ́ àti ORS ní wákàtí mẹ́rin tàbí kí ẹ máa fún díẹ̀díẹ̀ nínú ife. Èyí á jẹ́ kọ́mọ rẹ lè ní ìdápadà omi ara àtọkùn. Bákan náà, yọjú sílé iṣẹ́ ètò ìlera tó bá súnmọ́ ọ jùlọ láti gba ìtọ́jú fọ́mọ tó ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru. Ìkéde wá láti àkànṣe iṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
I'm in love, Sonia tomato make stand up. Easy to open, easy to squeeze, easy to scoop and easy to stop. It's just come alive with so much taste. Sonia tomato mix, of course. Sonia tomato mix, yes sir. Sonia tomato mix stand up pouch.
Sonia tomato mix in the new stand-up pouch.
So much love. Unforgettable.
Ultimate Funeral Undertakers commiserate with the family of Akiyemi on the demise of a God-fearing woman, Mrs. Aderoju Janet Akiyemi, aged 70. On Friday, 2nd August 2024, Christian wake will hold at the Church of Ascension Hall, Akobo, Ibadan. Time 4 p.m. While on Saturday, 3rd August 2024, Ultimate Funeral Undertakers will convey her in glamour to the Cathedral Church of St. James the Great, Okebola, Ibadan, for the funeral service. Time 11 a.m. Afterwards, Ultimate Funeral Undertakers will convey her to the church cemetery for interment. She is survived by a loving husband, Most Reverend Michael Olukayode Akiyemi, retired Archbishop of Anglican Communion, Akiyemi children and grandchildren. Ultimate Funeral Undertakers wish Mrs. Aderoju Janet Akiyemi a blissful eternal rest.
Adékúnlé Ajásùn University Ìbàdàn campus tógun wà tí mú Fúlàní College of Education Ìbàdàn Lagos Express Road ọ̀rẹ́ méjì axis Ìbàdàn lọ enroll báyìí courses tó bá wù ọ́ ní ọ̀yàn láàyò ló bá gba certificate lẹ́yìn àgùnbánirọ̀ English language political science accounting economics computer science biology health human kinetics social studies religious studies àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ sáré pé o ní 5 credits tó ní maths and English nínú Monday to Friday lẹ́kọ́ ọ̀mà ìparí ọ̀sẹ̀ ní tàwọn tó wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ Saturdays and Sundays AAUA management ló ń tẹ̀ gbà postgraduate diploma PGD in education ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí o ní Mufulani College of Education in affiliation with Adekunle Ajasin University Akungba Akoko Ondo State. Gba fọ́ọ̀mù báyìí Elewura Community Grammar School #1 Baálé Elewura Street Elewura Challenge Ìbàdàn àti ní Mufulani College of Education Ìbàdàn. Gbogbo student tó fẹ́ wọlé AAUA wọ́n ti gbọ̀rọ̀ yúrò fọ́ọ̀mù ti di 5,000 báyìí ó ti kúrò ní 10k 45,000 ní school fees ó ti kúrò ní 50k nítorí bẹ́tù ọ̀rọ̀ àjẹsẹ̀rí láfi jáwọ́ òun wálẹ̀. Telephone 07031551555 website www.aauaibadacampus.com.
Babies are God's gifts to parents, and breast milk is God's gift to babies. It contains all the important nutrients and minerals your baby needs, including water. For the first 6 months, give your baby breast milk only. Remember, breast milk only for the first 6 months. This message is from the Anwin Project or your state Ministry of Health.
Guy, if I tell you all this plenty airtime and data, where they take flex? Now dash glow dash me, you go believe.
Dash for this kind of economy. I beg you.
Hey Diana, as I buy my glow sim like this, spirit, I first collect 1,000 naira welcome bonus. Sarah, as I come recharge, bam, glow knock me 10 times airtime bonus. I also enjoy double data. Join.
Wait, oh, you mean 1,000 naira welcome bonus?
Yes.
Plus 10 times airtime bonus.
Yes.
Plus double data again?
Yes.
For which universe now?
The glow breaker the universe now. You want try?
Oh, no wonder boys they flex anyhow on top phone 247 non-stop. I don't come.
My people, don't let grass grow under your Lego. Go get your glow sim today. Dial *301# to buy and enjoy 10 times airtime bonus plus up to double data. Unlimited.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
All right. Yeah, welcome back. Yes, before we went to that break, we were talking about the protest, and we have 2 more angles to visit concerning that. That is the use of military. I said with the show of force we've been seeing all around the country, somehow we are seeing the military in the picture. Whatever we're talking about right now, this is a civil. We do not think the military should be anywhere in the picture at this moment. And then the IGP.
Who's saying that?
The organizers of the protest.
Okay.
And the IGP is replying them saying that the military will only come out if the need arises because of security and based on what happened during the NSAS protest. He also maintained the fact that the military came out back then in 2020 when after at least police stations started getting burnt by the protesters. That was what he said. So the military coming out.
You know, people have different roles to play. The person who wants to protest, I believe, should concentrate on protesting. The people who are in charge of security should concentrate on security. It's not until something happens that security begins to plan. So especially if you've had this thing for a long time,
okay,
and you have your history. So in this place, people killed policemen in this town during that NSAS thing. And some people will say it's only when they introduce violence that when should anybody kill anybody? So I cannot justify that. I can't justify policemen or soldiers killing civilians. We have been fighting that forever. And it still goes on. And we're fighting it. But you see, the point is this. Your country is in a situation where you are fighting Boko Haram and bandits and everything. Military is fully involved. You have a situation in your country that every of these activists know because they work together during elections. When our elections are militarized fully, is it when you want to protest that you will now be saying the military should not come? You know, when have we ever stated unequivocally like this that military should not be part of our elections? Even the police, we see how elections run in other. These are things that we have, been at for long. So, but it is very, very cool for people to be selective, especially people who find it easy to slip into selective amnesia. We don't do that. You cannot be doing that and expect things to work.
They said it seems like a threat.
Well, I told you about threats. threats flying everywhere.
It will be there.
The people who are protesting are issuing threats to government, but Wura, you don't like talking about that, which is fine.
No, we
but
can.
So the government too is making show of force. You understand? And we have to face up to all our realities.
Okay.
I will not, if I were protesting right now, I wouldn't be talking about bringing in military or not. I'll be concentrating on my protest.
But that is also them trying to concentrate to talk about their safety.
Well, I don't believe anybody should. Anything should happen outside simply protesting. But the moment people start destroying things, you and I know all bets are off.
All right. Lastly,
in the United States of America, they did Black Lives Matter, and the police arrested American citizens all over the place. Some of them with batting and everything. So it is not something out of this world for protesters to be reined in at some point. But what we are saying is we don't want to see blood. We don't want to see people being shot.
All right.
We don't want to see people maiming anybody. But we also don't want to see looting.
All right.
We don't want to see burning of shops and offices and homes. We don't want to see any of those things. Let's protest and let's not protest.
All right. Lastly, they said the government seems to be focusing on the protesters and not people they said they have intelligence on that they are planning to disrupt the protest.
How would they know that?
The IGP said they've arrested some people on social media inciting
Is the
people.
government giving them feedback on intelligence?
The IGP responded. The IGP responded. He said they've arrested some people inciting on social media.
I think that's just a function of inciting people, which is what we also talked about on radio here. Ours is even no go because it's dead set against go, so you can't do it.
Right.
But the greater point is, yes, a lot of people have been going overboard on the social media, outrightly, attacking people who say they are not interested, then writing just about anything. The freedom on social media is massive.
I mean,
it's great.
As long as you have data.
And so people feel very cool. They write just about, so some people might be arrested like that, but I hope they release them, or if you are not going to release them, then charge them to court so that we don't start talking about illegal detention again.
All right. Moving on from that right now, there is a news coming from the federal government saying that under 72 the federal government has reviewed that they relaunched the 100 billion naira restructured Nigeria Youth Investment Fund has received an impressive 80,000 naira applications within the first 72 hours.
Well, I think it's something they should have been doing before now. I even heard yesterday that they are going to start paying graduates who are unemployed and all that.
We've been hearing things.
But you see, whether they want to do it or not is another matter. If you genuinely want to do this kind of stuff, you should, have been doing things way before
now
this moment. That's the truth. Anything you do now would appear to be, or you're doing it just because people are now up in arms against you. The other part of it is that even those things that you could have scored this government of haven't done properly, they get buried behind the very poor media projections, extremely poor media projections. I can tell you that for free, that this government must find, outlets people listen to in order to push its own programs. If people are saying your program is not good, that's another matter. If people are saying this program is not enough, let there be that kind of critique. Let it not be said that you're not doing anything now. So, and I'm shocked that people who have been holding the Nigerian media, but then there's transition, which broke the monopoly of people who have the media in stranglehold. Now you have the social media. As bad as it is, it appears to be doing a blowback. And I think it has a lot of benefits. as much as we say this is just not the kind of social media we should be having, but it has its benefits.
All right. It's about time we opened the phone lines for people to join in the conversation right now. But there is a news right here coming from the Nation newspaper saying that EFCC grills Nakon boss over 90 billion naira hedge fund. They learned that there were petitions against the chairman and the commission's management over alleged fund mismanagement, especially during GC's Hajj exercise, talking about the 90 billion naira subsidy for this year's Hajj. And I think we talked about this in the studio one time,
Yes,
talking about the quality of the food being fed to these people.
As a matter of fact, people from other parts, certain parts of the country protested after all said and done that this thing should either be done by states so that you don't pack an entire 90 billion. And this is coming from, allergies and imams and so on, that rather than packing everything and putting it in one purse, that it should have been, shared out to different states so that you can go and take care of your state.
So allow them handle it.
Yes, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Some people are of the opinion that government should not even be involved at all in those things. Okay, it sounds good, but that's not our reality. And in
Nigeria, in a country like Nigeria,
I hate walking away from reality. So I don't know. People try to sink into this utopia a lot of times, which is fine if you are comfortable with it. But I can't but relate to my reality very tightly.
Because governments will always get involved in religious matter in this country.
It's one of the key ways they become government.
Religion.
Yes.
Yesterday you said religion and region.
And I've been waiting for somebody, because you see, when we talk, it's about facts. And if you are saying no, that's not a fact, one would have been happy. That okay, let's engage mind to mind. But we don't get a lot of that. You get a lot of distortions. The point is, I said, the only way you go about picking your president, I just don't want to say everybody. So let's restrict it to the president, is region and religion. If you say that's not a fact, then bring yours. Because I know it is silly, after using that as the yardstick to put a president in office, to come and be, quarreling after performance. How does that work? Between us, how does it work?
All right. Let us open the phone lines for people to come and join in the conversation. 0704 1001 887 or +234 704 700 8873. But before we do that, we have to listen to this, because there are rules and we should abide by them.
Thank you for your attention. It's been lovely to have you keeping it locked on Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Now is the time to join in the conversation, to have the word, hear your voice, because we are the people's voice. Meanwhile, while you contribute to this program, kindly note that in accordance with broadcasting ethics, you are requested to keep your contributions modest, truthful, concise, and not offensive, inflammatory, or with tendencies to cause discomfort to anyone. Thank you. Now, let the conversation begin.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Saseyi from Wuraola.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
Yeah, my contribution is that the government, they know exactly what they are supposed to do for us in this country. They know exactly what they need to do. But just that they just decided not to do it, and they want people to be pushed to the wall. Why is it that if now, you now realize that, okay, let us do this. Let us push this out. Let us push this out. To just make people feel like, oh, let us see how we can calm down a bit and do all of that. They know exactly what they do. Everything. In fact, one pronouncement can bring everything, all the tensions down in this country. It was the pronouncement that make the whole issue when on the May force when doing the swearing that make everything go up, and what will happen again can make everything come down. So it's as if we are just being bamboozled, and they just feel like let's just be doing them the way we want. Are you getting? But they now feel like people are not ready to take it anymore. They are now starting pushing things out.
All right.
That is my own view. That's my own view.
Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution. 0704-1001-887. Hello, good morning. 0704-1001-887. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
I'm Ahmed from Ago.
All right, sir, your contribution, and please stay away from your radio set.
Yeah, Mr. Maestro.
Good morning.
Good morning. My helper would like to get in show you.
No problem, sir. Please go ahead.
Yorùbá ní ṣé o mọ bá gbẹgbẹ kúkú yẹ gbẹgbẹ yìí. Àwọn ìjọba wa ṣe sọ these days. Àìwọ́ àwọn Tinubu gbogbo àwọn gómìnà wa, àwọn ni wọ́n dákó sóòrò wa lórílẹ̀‐èdè. Price commodity wà. Ìjọba kan ta ìrẹsì, wọ́n ń ta gbogbo nǹkan, wọ́n ń tepo pupa táyé ìjọ láti lè káńtà gbogbo àwọn ọlọ́jà àti everybody tí wọ́n bá set up. Kí ló dé tọ́jọ́ wípé tí nǹkan kan bá dé wọn ò ní gbọ̀nà tiwọn? Àwọn náà lè lọ oko lọ ọjà lọ ra nǹkan kan tí wọ́n import gbogbo kan gbogbo ilé iṣẹ́. Wọ́n ibi iṣẹ́ àwọn èèyàn máa ń lọ sí government commodity láti máa lọ ra nǹkan, láti máa lọ ṣe gbogbo everything. Tó dà tó fi jẹ́ wípé tọ̀ inflation rate àwọn èèyàn ò ní máa lọ pé iye bá ní ta tèmi lórí, iye bá ní ta tèmi lọ́la, iye bá ní ta tèmi lọ́túnla. They were just like yìí tó bóyá wọn ò sí nílùú yìí. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà àwọn olówó mẹ́ta tí wọ́n ń ṣèjọba just commodity gbogbo everything wọ́n ń ṣe pupa. Kò sí nǹkan tí wọ́n tà wọ́n tòrò wọ́n ta gbogbo ẹ̀.
Okay. Thank you so much.
One government will not set its own commodity something. Kí wọ́n ti price control kí gbogbo everything wà oríṣiríṣi gbogbo nǹkan wà. Wọ́n ṣàmú gbogbo nǹkan wọ́n ṣe yọ̀bọ̀.
Thank you so much for your contribution. 0704-1001-887 or +234-704-700-8873. Comment on Facebook. This one from BME Fadula says the government is not the only problem in Nigeria. Even we, the citizens, are really contributing to the hard times. Let's take a look at those rebranding palliatives in Kogi. People would definitely store it. This one from Emma Stevenson says, but Maestro, why do we find this so difficult to understand? People should know that there are things they could say in the comfort of their homes that are not air-friendly, including Maestro. All right, moving on to other comments. Olumide himself says, government should first do their part. The government is the most powerful in the nation. It is because of their lapses that makes us do what we want. He continues to say, Amza Oluwasegun says, thank you, Baba Maestro. Restructure the country and 85% of Nigeria problem solved. And also, he said, why is it so difficult to return back to regional self-government? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from?
Well, my name is Joseph Caleb. I'm calling from Olomi here.
All right, sir.
In Ibadan, yes. I want to appreciate Mr. Maestro. Mr. Maestro, I've been listening to you for the past 6 years. And let me tell you, your lecture, your comments on radio have really helped me, helped my life, helped my organization in so many other ways. In fact, please, sir, Mr. Maestro, you see, our people think, I'm talking about many people that do contribute on radio programs.
I think you need to pick one of the points.
Concerning what we've talked about today.
Yes, what I want to comment on is that our people should be patient. Then to listen to Mr. Maestro very well, the way he's analyzing about this.
Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. Please, when you put your call through, ensure that you pick a topic to talk about. Thank you so much. A comment on the Facebook page. This one from Shodia Kabiru says, yesterday, I said, Maestro, please tell us how best can the masses display their plight aside the protest. Yesterday, and then he went to talk about how the price of things he bought wasn't stable and wasn't too favorable for him. Adeyemi says the federal government is the one inciting. All right, the Maestro, please, can we get an answer to that?
Yes, we can get an answer to that. This is what I've been saying forever. These questions come like I've not been saying anything. I've been saying this thing for years.
Well, we have different people coming.
Yes, and you see, the truth of the matter is, if you look at our problems, you will just realize that being fixated on one or two people, even 36 governors and president, it won't solve. This generation will go. Can you beat your chest to say that when another crop of politicians occupy these offices with the current structure, that things will change? It hasn't changed before. It's not going to change. The only game changer in town, the only boss out of this chaos is restructuring. And that is what we should pull our energies and get behind. So that even if we don't get restructuring in one fell swoop, we will get it piecemeal. Imagine having a list that does not have state police inside. Having a list that is talking about everything under the sun without addressing that hunger that you said pushed you to the breaking point. The way out is restructuring of this country. Because the moment you restructure, you will have government coming closer to the people. And that's why we were happy when that financial autonomy for local governments happened.
Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, I'm Alaji Tunde from Makowa.
You're welcome, Alaji.
You said the issue of the structure. Who will move the lead or will take the lead? Well, the president can bring an executive bill. Similarly, those in the House of Assembly, in the state, National Assembly, can do the same. Then you will be individual. But those are the owners of affairs. Will they be able to do that? Because they know the impact, the effect of this issue on them. You see, most of people think the structure is remembering the structure of Nigeria. No, it's not. We have been clamoring for community policing, community participation, but they have refused. Why? You see, we are talking of insecurity, we are talking of people not going to their farms. All these are embedded in the structure. Financial autonomy to local government, that's one of it. So, let Nigerians be sensitized to ensure that we mobilize for the structure. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Sir Alaji. Stephen Oluseyi on our Facebook page says, this is a threat to the masses, which we're not supposed to be hearing from our monarch. There are ways they could persuade the masses rather than imposing their choices on them all because of the fact that they are protecting their posts. We also have a comment right here saying that John Akrele says, why is this government threatening people? They easily forget that they protested before getting to the throne. Wuraola Yusuff has said, all right, moving on. Because we have some emotional comments right here. Aria Yodeli Adebayo says, nothing will change after the protest until we change our character in this country. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, I'm Samson Akoko from Abo.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Maestro.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. Concerning the police, I don't know if the police have been relieved of protecting Nigerians constitutionally. Because the information they are requesting for, I call it an examination. You are asking people to come and write a qualifying exam before they be qualified for protection. Why? How is that possible? Now, if protesters are coming, if they get to my street, I feel like joining them. That means I will not be allowed to do that. They should look into that. But on the issue of the protesters, Nigerians should please be specific. What are we requesting for? Protesters should be very, very specific. Okay, are we requesting for? If we request for hunger, if we say yes, we are hungry. If they give us food, that means we go back in, and after some months, we come back to where we started from. Let's request for restructuring. And let's be specific in our, if it is regional government we want, let us be specific and say, okay, we want regional government. If it's state police, if or not all those things that restructuring brings together, we should highlight those things and say these are the things we are requesting for. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Ajisun Sanusi says, I support the OBA based on the experience on past protests in Nigeria. Look at the last NSAS. The impact was felt much in the southwest part of the nation compared to other regions. Let everyone go back to his or her states to do the protest. All right, this one from Amza Oluwasegun says, protest is the rights of citizens, but vandalizing infrastructure is barbaric. Mafo J. Peter says, as a matter of fact, government cannot stop the aggrieved Nigerians from protest simply because it is constitutional right. But we are appealing to them to do it in a constructive way and not in a destructive manner. We don't want a protest of vandalization of public utilities and looting of innocent Nigerians' property. All right? Property. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
Yeah, I'm calling from Bagi area here. I'm completely Dotun Sugar.
All right, sir.
Yeah. You see, concerning this, the protest that will start tomorrow, I think the thing that government is supposed to do is just to provide full security for the protester. Let them show their grievances, and you are able to attend to them. There must be a public opinion in every government. There must be a public opinion. Let people choose what they want. Then you address them if there's anyone you have done out of all these things. If there's anyone you are intended to do, or anyone you are unable to do, then you let them know. Because people cannot keep going like this. That is why they want to embark on this protest. But your own as a government is just to provide full security. Let them show their grievances and you address whatever.
All right.
That is just my opinion. Good morning.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Idris Adisa says, my opinion is that whether they converge or moving on the streets, they just have to be civil. Because any moment they strike a bit of balance, the security agencies will have a reason to intervene. But if there is sincerity in their protest, converging in some location is advisable. Ibiyemi Fadula says the probability that the protest will not lead to vandalizing, looting is very slim. Protesters are hungry, aggrieved,
and they should steal. They should rob people because they are hungry.
0704 1001 887. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Mr. Tsunami. I'm coming from New in every civilized country, and in every democracy, there must be a check and balances. Even though the protester did not go ahead with the protest today, even though what they have done now, made the government will shift land small. All what they are bringing now, they will have brought it before. So if this kind of a thing there should be a check and balances. So and I want to advise those that I want to protest, they should do it very peaceful. And government, all the energy that they are putting into this protest, they should put it to after the protest, they should put all the energy and strength into the insecurity again. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much for your contribution. So now we have to go pay some bills. When we're back, we'll take more comments, more calls, and then we'll round off on the program for this morning. We'll be back.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
My country people, mama, papa and pikin, make una lis ten o. Cholera full town o, but make you no fear. Cholera na disease wey you fit prevent with better hygiene practice for your home. Just dey disinfect your floors, clothes and every corner for your yard with hypo bleach. And no forget to dey clean your toilets with hypo toilet cleaner. This way, you go protect your family and stop the spread of cholera.
Big mommy, add that bokoto wey go senior school, put 2 roundabout, anoint the package with that slim thick shaki and
no vex o, which teeth you wan use eat all this orishi? That your teeth wey be like where motor jam truck, you no dey worry you again.
That one na before, all thanks to the new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection.
That's right, the new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste gives you complete oral protection with fluoride and antibacterial zinc to keep your teeth strong, prevent tooth holes and fight bacteria.
This time to go buy my own new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste.
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection for your important oral care needs. Available in a blue gel.
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the Anwin Project or your State Ministry of Health.
ọmọ ti dé ọmọ tuntun jòjòló òkú oríire má jáfara o gbọ́dọ̀ sọmọ lẹ́nu láàrin wákàtí kan àkọ́kọ́ tọmọ délé ayé láti fún un ní àkọ́kọ́ sí omi ọyàn aláwọ̀ òféèfé yẹn tí wọ́n ń pè ní colostrum. àkọ́kọ́ sí omi ọyàn colostrum yìí ní gbogbo èròjà pàtàkì tọmọ rẹ nílò láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìlera pípé ó sì ń ṣèrànlọ́wọ́ láti dènà àrùn fọ́mọ rẹ. rántí o fọ́mọ rẹ lọ́yàn láàrin wákàtí kan àkọ́kọ́ tó o bímọ. ìkéde yìí wá láti àkọ́ṣeṣẹ́ ANRIN iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Guys, let's go and get seats at that table with Semovita.
Sorry, this table is reserved for the bride's family.
Do you know who I am? I'm the older brother of the sister's last uncle who married their first cousin.
Everybody wants a seat at the Golden Penny Semovita table. Golden Penny Semovita remains my soup's first choice. It's made from premium wheat and fortified with vitamins and minerals to provide a wholesome bowl food that pairs well with Nigerian soups. Golden Penny Semovita, my soup's first choice.
I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Easy to open, easy to squeeze, easy to scoop and easy to stir. It's just come alive, so much taste. Sonia tomato mix, of course. Sonia tomato mix, yes sir. Sonia tomato mix, stand up pouch.
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
So much love.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
Alright, 070410018887. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
I'm about Arua Aditula from Liberty Road. Good morning, Mr. Maestro.
Good morning.
God bless you, sir.
Amen, you too.
Something makes me laugh. They say they want to protest, and they are printing each check for 6,000 naira. Are you hungry? That is lie. But somebody is hungry cannot even buy a singlet of 500 naira. You want to protest, you are hungry, and you are printing t-shirt 6,000 naira. You don't like this country yourself. Leave this man alone. Let us talk about it. Go to your governors and your face your governors and your representatives there. About 3 days ago now, Mr. Maestro, I think I don't know what I do now. That's speed of here. Speed of here. I don't know whether the governor or the deputy governor. It's about 15 SUV cars, 15 another vehicle, SUV cars. There's line up in that stadium. And people are hungry in your state. Let this man alone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. Oladeji Olaliko says, I don't know how they can go on with the protests without violence because all of them can't have the same mindset. Because Yoruba said, back or no. Oladile Richard, this is a direct message to Mr. President saying, President, do the needful. You know what to do. You are hearing what people are saying. People are hungry. We have a comment from Kolako Oluwaseyi saying the entire protest was so peaceful at the inception to the extent that the protesters were contributing to help people on protest ground until the military appeared. All right, let us move on from that because we do not have a fact to that. We have this one from Rupa Moshood saying that leaders of the protest, as it were, can only determine how the protest will start, but not how it will flow and conclude. This is what we have led before. We have seen before. Our protests against the military started well and peacefully in 1998, but turned otherwise where we got to Adamasigba beyond our control as leaders. Those who were killed then remain in their burial grounds till today. Maestro can bear me witness.
Do you know Mashood Erubami? Do you know him?
No.
That is one man riot squad.
Wow.
When he came to protests in this country, and Egbon, I hope you are doing good there. It's been a while. Okay.
All right. Now we have this one from Areba Batunde saying Alaji should call for restructuring without should go. I do not understand this comment. I'm so sorry. And then there's a whole lot of conversation going on between Mr. Sholadunya Adetiso and one other person. Oyetayo Babatunde Yusuff said, Maestro, please, is it not the same people ruling us that will still rule when going into restructuring?
Well, you have a different... it's like saying if you had a building with good structural integrity and another one without good structural integrity, are you going to have the same result?
Amza Oluwasegun says, Nigeria's problem is a generational one and no be today, you don't take. And Arab Babatunde says, Awolowo this, Awolowo do that. It was during the regional government. Without restructuring, no way out. All right, Bakare Ibrahim says, with all the pressures on the protesters, I don't think the protest will hold tomorrow, Thursday. However, I think their mission is somehow accomplished because the waves they created has actually forced the government to push out some things in order to stop the protest.
It will hold in some way. I'm sure, it will hold in some way, but I guess not the way it should have.
All right. I think there is a new saying by August 5 we shall have Idris Okuneye back to the public concerning the mutilating Naira and what he went.
I think it's a very sad one. The reason I say that is I think he was dealt a bad blow, or she, or
he or she or eh.
Okay, so because just immediately after they got another person who is walking free.
But so Bobrisky was the one that went to prison.
That doesn't appear to me to be justice.
All right then, let's just wrap up your pattern shots in a few seconds.
Well, I'm just hoping and I'm praying that the people who want to protest will protest in a way that nobody will come to harm, and the people who don't want to protest will not protest in a way that will lead to conflict. So that's my parting shot today.
All right, thank you so much. Quite a lot of comments on our Facebook page. Apologies, we cannot take that right now, but we'll surely go through them right after and respond to the ones necessary. Thank you so much for your contribution on the Facebook page and also to our callers this morning. We sincerely appreciate that. My name is Wuraola Yusuff, and tomorrow we shall be back again to talk about a great nation, Nigeria. Have a nice day.